Mrityurma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Aviramir Maidhi Rudro Jatte Dakshinang Mukham Te Namang Pahi Nityam Te Namang Pahi Nityam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. And evermore shine in our hearts with your resplendent face. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are reading the Shanti Gita, chapter 6. And the question was that how this universe has been created. That question was being discussed. And we are on the verse number, finished the verse number 23. We'll read today 24th verse of 6th chapter. So what we read is this, how this world is created. It is called by Maya, Maya-vṛttiya, and Maya. He became the Lord of creation and they created. And it is Maya udgata kāla, in Maya arises time. And time is one who plays in time. Thus he is called the mahā-kālaḥ, mahā-kāli. Mahā-kāla is the infinite time, unchanging, absolute, that is mahā-kāla. And Maya udgata kāli, and by Maya, from that springs up the Kali, the mother, the divine. It is Sutta, we have heard like that. And kāla-shakti, the Shakti of the time is mahā-kāli. She is called mahā-kāli, great mother. Cha adda saddha samudbhavat. She is the foremost. And everything comes out of her. And we have read the other verse, 21. Everything is created in time. Kāleno jayate sarvam. And kāle cha parishthisthati. Everything is born in time. And everything remains in the time. And everything kāle vilayam āpnoti. And time, it dissolves. In time it comes, in time it stays, and in time it dissolves. Time is eternal. But in time only, like a movie screen, one thing is coming, another going. And time is waiting here. And we call click, 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 click. And it is the birth of the sun, moon, stars, galaxies. Our human birth, death, existence is in time. It is automatic happening. And mahā-kālaḥ, he stands in his own dignity and glory, unchanging. And in that, the Kali is playing this role of time. So we read that 21, and then 22nd verse also we read, that great time, sarva-vyāpī mahā-kāli, and that great time, mahā-kālaḥ, he is the mahā-kālaḥ, sarva-vyāpī mahā-kālaḥ. That great time is all pervaded everywhere. There is nothing we can imagine in the creation where there is no time, has no effect. Time is the cause of origination, time is the cause of existence, and time is the cause of destruction. So sarva-vyāpī mahā-kālaḥ, the great time mahā-kālaḥ is all pervading. And nirākāraḥ, it has no form, no shape. And nirāmayaḥ, there is no blemish in it. It is absolutely pure. That means it is Satchidananda. And upādhi-yogataḥ kāla, when it comes in contact with the upādhi, limiting adjunct, like body, mind, emotions, these, that, it takes the color of that. It has no color of its own, but it takes the color of the object it is put. So attribute of time shines forth in various ways. Upādhi-yogataḥ kālo nānā-bhāvena bhāsate. That time plays in diverse of ways. That timeless plays in the time. That absolute dances in the creation. And the dance is called mahā-kālaḥ. And this is the play of the timeless entity into time. And actually, it is by Maya. Then we read the 23rd verse. Nimeshadir juga-kalpa sarvang tasmin prakalpitam. Starting from nimesha, blinking of an eye, to juga-kalpa, age. Kalpa means how many? Kalpa? Kalpa is a juga-kalpa. Kalpa is a bigger calculation of time. Everything is made in this great time. Mahā-kālaḥ, you see, Brahman. In that everything has been, kalpa is 1,000 jugas. And 1,001 juga is what? One nimesha. Nimesha means starting from a half a second. Half a second, that's the time. Now we can divide time 10 nanoseconds. 10 to the power how much? Time. How much we can divide to the lowest? 10 to the power?
To the lowest, you can go to nano, femto, 10 to the power 15.
10 to the 15.
Negative 15.
Say, so go down the time. So that time, even you can, from that nano to this time of what? The juga. Juga means aeon of times lasting for 4,320,000 human lifetime. Human years. Our year, 1 year, if you have 4,320,000 years of human year, that makes one juga. And kalpa, 1,000 such jugas, if we add 1,000 times, then that becomes what is called kalpa. So to nano to this macro. Sarvam, all, tasmin, in it, in the timeless entity, prakalpitam, is imagined. It is all we are projecting in that changeless, this change. And in time, everything is created. Nanosecond, what you are talking, it is passing our life. Our life is going to...
Nano is set to the power negative 9. Pico is set to the power negative 12. And femto is set to the power negative 15.
15. Temto.
Femto, F-E-M-T-O.
F-E-M, femto, okay. So jai-hok, meaning that we cannot think of how many temto ran by this time. Pausing 1 second, how many we cannot imagine that. But from that minor to the what is the huge 4,322 human years multiplied by 1,000, multiplied by 1,000. See, that much time. So here to there, all creation is coming out, existing, and it dissolving again. So as it happens for us, every day we are wake up in the morning, no? The whole world appears in time. You get up. I get up at 6 o'clock. For your 6 o'clock, the whole world came up. The world was not there. World was not there for you. People may say, there is world. That is not our question. Individual experience we are talking about. For me, the whole world gets extinct when I go to sleep. So, during this period, the world was not with me. But when I come into consciousness, then this world appears. That's why it is called projected. It is not real. If it is real, it will be always in my consciousness. What is truth? Truth means it is called tri-kāla-vaśānugāḥ, not buffeted by any time. It will be continuous. It was in the past, it is in the present, it will be in the future. That is called the truth. And what is not truth? Now it is like this, tomorrow it will be something different, after 5 years it will be different. That is not true. That is called changing. And changing thing cannot be relied upon. Anything which changes, that is impermanent. So, what is the permanent thing? That is the Atman, which is same before, mahā-kālaḥ, another name. And mahā-kāli is the play, dance of that Shakti. But this projection is going on. It is not ultimately true because mahā-kāli can go back to the mahā-kālaḥ and spring again from mahā-kālaḥ. Coming and going. Those, our concept of the world, all is sucked into it when you go to sleep. And when you get up, it springs from somewhere. So that is the concept, comes and goes.
Maharaj, how can I perceive something that is unchanging if everything that I live is changing?
Yeah, that is the point. We have to think that how can it be changed if there is no unchanging?
Everything that I see and perceive is changing. How can I
So that's the so many lectures are given by Sarva-Priyananda on the witness idea. Who is changing? Who is seeing the change?
Because everything is bound by time.
But who is seeing? He is not bound by time. Your conception of your seeing thing is changing. What I saw yesterday, today is different. But who is seeing in you, he has not changed. When you are sleeping, he also didn't change. During that sleep time, you say, I slept. So I was, you do not know that, but in you someone observed it. That I, that's called the conscious entity, unchanging. Morning, it was in my morning when I woke up, that I, that consciousness behind me, that was there. I did so many things. I have lunch, I have breakfast, I have did this, I did that. All these things have been observed by someone. And that some entity which is always there. That's why the Panchadashi's famous verse is there. That is Mass, Abda, kāla, gata-gamme shvanekadha. All this go and pass. Time comes, morning comes, evening comes, year comes, month comes, year comes. We say, I'm 50 years old. 50 years, you know, the 50 years of your life you have passed through, your body has changes, but in you, one is someone who didn't change. He said, I, when I was a child, I did this. Oh, I, when I go to school, I did that. So that I is not changing. It is always as if one person, one singular person observing. That's called the witness consciousness. That is unchanging. You cannot think of change without unchanging. You cannot think the ocean, wave and ripple without the ocean itself. There must be an ocean to have the changeful waters. Changeful waters are possible because of the unchanging. Changeful cars should be running, the wheels should be running, changeful. There should be one road which is not changing. It is a relative example, but this is the way. So we have to understand there is something unchanging in behind the changes. That is the sadhana, spiritual practice is what is called Vedantic sadhana is that. Everything is changing, but that which is the observer, who is observing these changes, he never changes. You cannot say observer also. Observer means also there is in relative term, observer also changes. No. But here that observer as consciousness, it does not change any time. So, say, therefore, starting from this split second to a juga, means the 4,320,000 human years, or multiplying that 1,000 jugas, etc., etc. Everything is made in that great time, mahā-kālaḥ. He remains the same. Everything coming in that change, but he is not affected by that change. From time came forth the great principles. From great principles came the ego. Kāle mahat-tattvaṃ. Great principle. Mahat-tattvaṃ means intelligence. Mahat-tattvaṃ means buddhi. In the Sankhya philosophy, it is called the mahat-tattvaṃ means the intelligence. Intelligence and mind, they are inert, but they come in contact with the consciousness. They then agitate it, and that heat, that consciousness percolates through the body-mind, and then body-mind becomes active. It is the Sankhya philosophy. Now today we want to read the verse number 24. 24th verse says, tri-vidhaḥ sopi ahaṅkāra tri-vidhaḥ sopi ahaṅkārah sattvādi-guṇa-bhedataḥ sattvādi-guṇa-bhedataḥ ahaṅkārāt bhavet sūkṣma ahaṅkārāt bhavet sūkṣma-tanmātrāṇi pañca-vṛttimayaḥ tanmātrāṇi pañca-vṛttimayaḥ tri-vidhaḥ sopi ahaṅkāra. Now, just said that this universe is coming, nimeshat, all these are coming, but kāla in time, your intelligence also came. Understanding has matured in time. In this also there is intelligence, but this intelligence is dull. In intelligence, the human mind is much brighter. Intelligence, a dog is intelligent, cat is intelligent, elephant is intelligent, but human intelligence is much higher. But intelligence, that's why intelligence and ego, Vedanta says, mind, intellect, ego. Mind cannot decide, then intellect decides, I will do this, I will go, I will not go. Then who says I? That is the individual person. So Vedanta says ego, intellect, mind and memory. These are the four. But Sankhya and others, they squeeze it. It says intelligence and mind. Mahat-tattvaṃ, buddhi-tattvaṃ. Mahat-tattvaṃ, that cosmic principle which unmanifest, must not manifest, but that power percolates through the created body, mind, etc. So, starting from the great principle come ego. Our ego comes from that buddhi. I will go. That determination. Determination, who does the determination? I will go. I will not go. I will read. I will not read. I will eat. I will not eat. I generates out of the mahat-tattvaṃ, the buddhi, intelligence. It is philosophical branching of understanding how our ego functions and other. Now this ego, which sprouts like that, this from time has come your intelligence. No? In infinite time, there came some conscious reflection that is called the intelligence, cosmic intelligence. Where came the creation comes from that. Absolute consciousness has nothing to do with the creation. Absolute consciousness with Maya in Vedanta, they call this creation starts. Here they say it is a time. It is a different name they are giving, mahā-kālaḥ, great time. Great time means unchanging time. That is Brahman. And that mahat-tattvaṃ, great time, then manifests as ego. So, I. Buddhi comes first. That is the difference between Vedanta and Sankhya. Vedanta says I first, then Buddhi. But Sankhya says Buddhi first, then I comes. And it is not much difference, but just to understand their philosophy. And now this ego, this I, manifests in tri-vidhaḥ sopi ahaṅkāra. This ego is of the three types, ego. Three types of ego. According to Sattvic quality, sattvic ego, rajasic ego, tamasic ego. Sattvic ego will be manifesting as a purer form. Rajasic will be the devotees Ami. I am the servant Ami. I am that Brahman, that's the purer Ami. And Rajasic Ami, I am this so much rich, I am so powerful, so that ego, pride. And tamasic ego will be mean and unkind, no? All negativity, boasting for nothing. He has nothing but he is empty drum, beating the drum where nothing is in the stock. So like that, that is the tamasic, violent, virulent, all negative, that type. So tri-vidhaḥ ahankara sattvādi-guṇa-bhedataḥ, because of the distinction of the three gunas, sattva-guna, raja-guna and tama-guna, ahankar, ego, bifurcates into three divisions. One is sattvika, rajasika, tamasika. And sattva, from ahankar, ahankarat bhavet sūkṣma-tanmātrāṇi. From ego, being sattvika, rajasika or tamasika, three divisions come there again. What comes? Sūkṣma-tanmātrāṇi. Tanmātrāṇi means, tat-matra. It's a technical term again. If you read Vedanta Sara, the Vedanta text, then you will get all this clarity. There's a sūkṣma-tanmātrāṇi. Tanmātrāṇi means tat-matra, only that. Only that is what? 5 elements are there. 5 elements. What are the 5 elements? We all know. Khiti, Ap, Tej, Marut, Bam. Khiti means earth element, earth. Ap means water. Teja means fire. Khiti, Ap, Tej, Marut, air. Boma, space. This is called physical. This is called physical. It is called pañca-tanmātrāṇi. Remember, this is the technical term. Pañca-tanmātrāṇi. Tanmātrāṇi means there is only water is water, pure water, pure earth element, pure space, pure air. Khiti, Ap, Tej, Marut, Bam. But what is this one? This is adulterated. You take the essential pure elements and mix major. Suppose we are drinking water. This water is called panchikrita. That is, panchikrita means unmixed. Pure is unmixed. From unmixed come the mixed. What is the mixed? The water we drink. It is pure water, 50%. Add with 50% of other elements of air, fire, space, and fire. To fire, air, earth. So you add 1/8 of 4, that becomes make half. And major part of the water, of the subtle pure water. Pure water subtle, collect that 50%. And take 1/8 of the other 4. Then you mix together. That is our drinking water we drink. This material earth, as we walk over, this earth is earth element, pure earth element, 50%. And rest of the 5 elements, 1/8 of the other. So the space in which, suppose this space in which we are, our earth is rotating, in which space we are walking, planets are walking, stars and galaxies are, that's the gross space. What is the gross space made? 50% of this pure space, tanmatra, plus add 1/8 of the other element. That's why you will say, what you are talking about, do you have any concept? Well, yes, we have concept. Now I am drinking a glass of water. I am drinking the mixed elements. 5 pure elements and mixed here. It has become adulterated. Now, when you are drinking water in your dream water, think about that. What water you drink? This is all the pure water. That's the pure state. That has become polluted, coming down, gross. That's a subtle. That's why Devanasnanti, gods don't eat, they only see. Why? They connect with the teja. So, understand, in the dream, there is also garden. We can see some flower, we can see some mud, you can see there river flowing, or you can have, say, glass of water, you can have there also. But that water, suppose you are really in your dream, you are thirsty. And if I put this water in your mouth, what will happen? You will get choked. You need dream water. In the dream, you need dream water. In the dream, you need dream space, dream fire. This fire and that fire is different. In waking state, you need all these fine, pure things added with together, mixing together. This is a khichuri. That means a mixed product here. So that's called the pancha, sūkṣma-bhūta, sthūla-bhūtāt. These are the technical terms. Sūkṣma means finer and sthūla means the gross. They are made of the 5 elements. That's the philosophy of Sankhya and others. They have, and Vedanta also, Vedanta Sara insists on this.
So if you have a cup of water, in that cup of water would be earth, fire, air, the elements?
And whatever is subtle. And subtle we don't understand. You know, we take so many things in our, say, juice you purchase. They mix this, make a juice, no? There we, subtle, even some scent, they're adding some scent to a food, no? They put some flavor. So this is very subtle, fine thing. So if it is in the physical level, in the God's creation, from that is the subtle level of pañca-bhūta, this is the gross level of pañca-bhūta. So it says, the ego becomes divided. Ego, I can make a chart, I have a chart. That chart, what we are seeing that in the time, that I have done that. That one ego comes into 3 divisions, sattva, rajas and tamas. And each one, sattva, has 5. This is earth, air, fire and water, space. These are 5. Rajas also similarly 5. Tamas also 5. Now mixed of these 5, take the pure air, add with the others, that becomes the gross. Similarly, you can take sattvika and mix with others, it will be gross. So similarly, ahaṅkārāt bhavet, from ahaṅkāra, ego, bhavet, it becomes sūkṣma-tanmātrāṇi api pañca-vai. Sūkṣma-tanmātra, fine, subtle elements are created there. Ego, can you catch ego? All of us talk about ego. I. Can you catch anytime? Is anytime it grows? It is so subtle. And ego is so fine that even no one can understand. I am no ego, but you are full of ego. So ego, that's the subtlest of the subtle. From that came the 5 elements. Kiti, Tej, Marudbam. Air, water, fire, etc. First in the purer state, and then it become, in the gross state, is called pañca-krita. Pañca-krita means 5 become 1. So, water, air, again, what? Only to compare, it will be very clear in your mind if you compare this waking state and dream state. Dream water, dream garden, dream breathing, You breathe in your body in the dream body, no? Now you are also breathing. This is called the gross, pañca-krita, a technical term. And that is called apancha-krita. It is not mixed together. Pure water, pure air you are breathing in your subtle body. That body is not this body. Similar body, but it's a different body, made of finer elements. So this is sūkṣma-tanmātrāṇi pañca-bhūtāni. So that very ego is of three types, depending on the variation of the sattva and the like, means rajas and tamas. The 5 subtle elements are also verily generated from that ego. Got it? Very beautiful idea. To understand, ego is the subtlest one, and from it, ego came from mahat-tattvaṃ, meaning intelligence. From intelligence came your ego. Ego to 5 subtle elements. 5 subtle elements will now get divided into gross elements. So the creation comes. So the now 25th verse. Sūkṣma-ni pañca-bhūtāni, sūkṣma-ni pañca-bhūtāni, sthūla-ni bhakritani tu, sthūla-ni bhakritani tu, sattvāṃ sūkṣma-bhūtānāṃ, sūkṣma-bhūtānāṃ, krumat dhīndriya-pañcakam, krumat dhīndriya-pañcakam, antakaranam ekam tat, antakaranam ekam tat, samaṣṭi-guṇasattvataḥ, samaṣṭi-guṇasattvataḥ. Now, sūkṣma-ni pañca-bhūtāni, as we talked about, fine 5 elements, pure 5 elements. Where? In the dream. Pañca-bhūtāni, sthūla-ni bhakritani tu, and when it comes down to here, these are the 5 elements. 5 elements fine level, 5 elements the gross level. If sattvaṃ, out of his sattva, I have said each one is divided into 3 again. Sattva, rajas and tamas. From the sattva, take the sattva, add the sattva of all these 5, put together. That's why I said sattvaṃ sūkṣma-bhūtānāṃ. Of the sūkṣma elements, fine elements, krumat gradually develops dhīndriya-pañcakam. Buddhi, when he had mind, and indriya-pañcakam, 5 eyes, ear, nose, all these things come out of that. Dhīndriya-pañcakam. And also antakaranam. Antakaranam means inner organ, your mind. And tat samaṣṭi-guṇasattvataḥ. Ekam. Tat antakaranam. That antakaran also comes, your mind feeling center comes, and samaṣṭi-guṇasattvāḥ, because of the cumulative sattva quality. It is talking about how these purer elements come out of the pure element division, all collecting. Rajas will create another thing, tamas together will create another thing. So the translation goes, the 5 subtle elements now have transformed into gross elements. This, as I told, subtle elements, subtle water, subtle air, subtle thing, what we experience in our dream, now when we come here, it experiences gross. So transformed into gross elements. This gross water, gross air, I am breathing now. The gross earth, I am walking over. Gross space, in the space I am moving. Gross fire, in the body is fire. It's a temperature, we call the body temperature. So outside also temperature is there. So these are all transformed into gross elements. From the sattvika part of the subtle elements, sattvika part of the, if I make a chart it will be much easier. Sattvika part of the 5 elements came gradually the 5 sense organs. we have 5 sense organs. Chakshu, karna, nashika, jiva, tok. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the skin. Of knowing, these are of knowing, to know. And also from collective sattvika qualities come that one, mind stuff. And all the sattvika quality of the subtle creates your mind. So mind, that's why mind is called the master of the 10 organs. Mind, I look at you, if my mind is not there, I will not see. Something you say, I will hear, so long mind is connected. So mind is the master of all the senses. It is a headmaster. Other teachers, or in a head clerk in a office. Other are clerks. He is also a clerk, but he heads, means his connection is with everyone. Then what happens? Karmendriyani rajasa, pratyekam bhūta-pañcakāt, pratyekam bhūta-pañcakāt, pañca-vṛttimayaḥ prāṇah, pañca-vṛttimayaḥ prāṇah, samaṣṭi-pañca-rājasaiḥ, samaṣṭi-pañca-rājasaiḥ. Now they talked about sattvika quality, no? Sattvika quality created what? Your mind, antakaran, 5 sense organs. Because these are all to carry the information. Eyes can carry, it's called knowledge. It brings knowledge. But there are 5 other organs which allows you to work. My hand, my feet. These are gross organs through which you function in the world. If someone has only the eyes, ears, and no body functionality is stopped. So that is not an existing personality then. So this is coming from rajasa quality now. So that's why karmendriyani rajasaha. So rajasa, karmendriyani, all the sense organs. Karma indriya is 5 karma indriya. What are the 5 karma indriya? What are ki bole? Bak, pani, bak. The speech is called karma indriya because it gives order. Go, bring it, do that. So that falls within karma indriya. Karma, it connects with the karma. Bak, pani, hat. We all know, without hand we cannot function. Put it there, bring it there, take it here, give it here. So hand is necessary. Bak, pani, pada. Without legs, we cannot walk anywhere. So that's also an organ what is needed. It comes from, because these are all action related. I say something and someone will do that. Or you say something, I will act accordingly. So it is action related. So bak is the speech, pani is the hand.
But again, bak, when you are talking about, that time it is something you are saying. But when you are in para or pashanti level, then it is not, it goes in our mind and buddhi. So it cannot be covered.
That is sattvika part will come.
It will go with the sattvika.
But
so this is not pure, like that bak thing.
No, then you are penetrating to the rajas to sattva, and sattva to beyond. But we are talking in a rajasa level. In the level of rajasa, what happens? So rajasa level, your actions.
Speaking with mind is not rajas, it's sattvic. Speaking with other is rajas.
Mind may be rajasa. Mind may also be rajasic, no? Mind may also be sattvic. Mind may also be tamasic. So karmendriyani, let us understand first what is saying. Karmendriyani rajasa. Karmendriyani, all these karma indriyas are coming out of rajasa. pratyekam bhūta-pañcakam. And every bhūta-pañcak, pañca-bhūtas, pañca-vṛttimayaḥ prana, and also our prana, the vital energy of 5 types. What are the 5 types? It's called prana. Prana means what? Prana means life force. Prana. And in our body, apana, there is one air, this pranic energy, the wind, which helps you to excretion. So that's called apana. Prana, apana. Samana, na? Samana is balancing the internal pressure. Otherwise, external pressure is there, air pressure, internal pressure is also there. That's a prana. Prana, apana, samana. Udana. Udana means when you eat and you burp, burping. Burping comes. Pancha-prana. Chale gelo je. Prana. Prana is the vital force. Prana, Vayu, also prana. Vayu is the flow. The Yoga Vasishtha says the divine vital air, prana, does everything in the body, much like a machinist performs the actions of the machine. This body is a machine, it works like that. As per yogic psychology, this vital air, prana, Vayu, is divided into 5 major and 5 subtypes in the body. For he is trying to endeavor to explain 5 major prana Vayu in the body. They are called the pancha-prana. These are classified according to location. Apana. Apana is the downward flowing of Vayu, which located from the navel to the Mooladhara, the base of plexus. This is responsible for all excretory reproductive functions and governs the large intestine, kidneys, anus and genitals. It is associated with the element of water, apana Vayu. So one type of Vayu which functions in the body. Samana, the sideways flowing Vayu, sideways, from the navel to the diaphragm. It is responsible for all digestion and metabolic functions, including the circulatory system, and governs the heart, liver, small intestine, stomach, pancreas, and their secretaries. It is associated with the element of fire. So samana is associated with the digestion, and it is associated with the element of fire in the body. Prana Vayu is upward flowing from the chest to the thorax. This governs the lungs, larynx and chest region. It is that force by which breath is down into the body. By which the breath is drawn into the body. It's coming inside. It is associated with the element of air. Udana, that governs the area above the neck and is responsible for all the sense organs. It governs thoughts and consciousness, harmonies and activities, the limbs, and all their associated nerves, ligament, muscle, and joints. It is the reason we can maintain an erect position. It is associated with the element of ether or space. And also it is for burping. Vyana, it pervades the whole body, regulates and controls all movements and coordinates the other prana Vayus. It is the reserve force for the other pranas. It is associated with the element of earth. So these are the 5.
So when we give Thakur food, we say prana.
You're right. Yeah. So these are just to understand the little functioning of the system with the Vedanta, how the modern science and that makes sense. Maybe we may not totally relate, but we can understand there is some connection. Now, so the verse number 26 as we read, karmendriyani rajasa prattyakam, each organ of action. 26 verse, no? We are reading? কি বলছো বুঝতে পারছি না। কর্মেন্দ্রিয়ানি রজস, এটা পড়েছি কি? হ্যাঁ, the 5, actually we have 25 we have read, no? The 5 subtle elements now have transformed into gross elements. From sattvika part of the subtle elements came gradually the 5 sense organs we described about, sense organ, perception, hearing, etc. And from the collective sattvika qualities come that one that is called the mind. Now 26 verse says, karmendriyani rajasaha, karmendriyani rajasaha pratyekam bhūta-pañcakāt, pratyekam bhūta-pañcakāt, pañca-vṛttimayaḥ prāṇa, pañca-vṛttimayaḥ prāṇa, samaṣṭi pañca-rājasaiḥ, samaṣṭi pañca-rājasaiḥ. What it means? Karmendriyani, the organs of action. What are the organs of action? I was saying, hand, feet, etc. Hand, back, as I said, back, pani, pado, payu, upastha. All the organs to which we do action. So these are the organs of action. They come naturally from the rajasic part. Sattvika is calm, rajasic is action, tamasic is dullness. So all the rajasic activity is done because of the impact of this element, rajasic element. From the collective rajasic qualities of the subtle elements come forth the life energy. So you add all the collected rajas from all the elements, no? Earth, water, fire, space, and air. You take, each one has 3 qualities, sattva, rajas and tamas. Now you take rajas of all of them, from each one, and then that will create your this air, that is the breathing, which is called prana. And prana has 5 functions. It maintains the body that way. Sattvika we already talked about. Subtle, it may prepares you the other verse. Sattvika part of the subtle element came gradually 5 sense organs, organs of perception. I told the eyes, ears, nose, through which we perceive the knowledge, outside knowledge. We can get, with the eye, without eyes I cannot see anything. Without ear I cannot hear anything. Without tongue I cannot taste anything. So to knowledge, whether it is sour or sweet, it is beautiful or ugly, it is sweet voice or this and a hoarse voice, all we understand. It is called the sense organs of perception. And then all action. Action will naturally come from rajas. Perception is a finer thing, it comes from the sattvika quality. So, from the collective rajasic qualities of the subtle elements comes forth the life energy, which is consist of the 5 functions we have just talked about. 26. Now they will talk about the tamasic. Sattvika we talked about, rajasic we talked about. Now take the tamas part of all the 5. Pañcikritam tamasangshang, pañcikritam tamasangshang, tat-pañca-sthūlatāṃ, tat-pañca-sthūlatāṃ, sthūla-bhūtāt, sthūla-sṛṣṭir, sthūla-bhūtāt, sthūla-sṛṣṭir, brahmāṇḍa-śarīrādikam, brahmāṇḍa-śarīrādikam. Now it is sthula, tamas. Tamas is the dull, inert, it's a gross thing, very tangible and not fine. Sattva is the finest, rajas is the little energy, and this is dullness, a dull part of the 5. Dull part of the ear, dull part of the water, dull part of the space, like that, all the 5. So what it makes? That tamasic part of the subtle elements, when compounded, when they mix together, creates 5 gross elements. What are the 5? These 5 elements, as we are talking about, this earth element, this gross earth element, this earth, what we deal with, this water, what we deal with, they are created from the tamasa part. Sattvika part, rajasa part is already described. Now we are dealing with the tamasa part. From these gross elements come the gross creation. From that came this gross earth, water. See, whole universe is made of 5 elements. You can divide. It has been mass divided in the chemistry. How many? 98 elements. When we are students, we had the 98 elements. Now it has become 116 elements. But main element, it will fall either in the 5 elements. Air, water, fire. If you gross division, and in that gross division, this 116 will come. Much more because it will gross manifestation. So creation starting from the universe down to the individual body. The gross body, the star body, the planet's body, to your body, to the body of an ant, you see, of a bird, of a tiger. So all these bodies, this is growing by what? By gross food, gross element, drinking water, taking the produce which grows in the earth, and taking the energy from that, putting into the body. So these are the 5 things which coming from the tamasa part. Okay? So let it be. I shall try to bring next day the chart. Then it will be much easy to just seeing the chart you can easily grasp it. Very simple. Sattva, rajas, tamas, 3 elements. Each one has 3 elements. And that taking the sattvika part of this, sattvika part of all the 5, that becomes the finer element. Then rajasa part makes the rajasic karma, indriya, etc. And tamasa part, the physical part of the body. And behind. So that is the functioning of the 3 gunas, and how the body is created, this idea is given. So we end here, and maybe there may be some question. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So tomorrow is gospel reading at 7:30 p.m. Solo asge na?
Yes, 16 August.
Oh, it is not. It's 27. You know, they're talking about all this creation, this part from that part, 1/5, 1 second. They ultimately say this, then you are saying this, but another Vedanta will say that it is made differently. No? This is according to Vedanta Sar, how the creation theory. But if we go to the other text, they may describe differently. Tri-vidhaḥ. This is called pañca-kaṛana. Pañca-kaṛana means we are talking about 5. Kiti, Up, Tej, Marudbam, 5. In the Upanishad it says tri-vidhaḥ. The world is made up out of 3 basic things. Now we'll say, you are saying 5 here, you are saying 3 here.
And Bhagavatam is saying something totally different. Bhagavatam is saying something.
So what is this? All this. That's why they say, Are, you are a child, you are fearful of a ghost, We are creating a ghost. You may create a ghost with 6 hands, with 5 eyes or head. I can create with 4 head and virulent eye, with a leg there, big tail. You can set a short tail. These are all fictitious because it is not there. Brahman is alone true. These are not at all true.
What about divine manifestations of Brahman?
Then that is a different perspective. When you realize God, then you can say. But before that, then you will get entangled. If you say everything is God, then you will be involved into it and you will get attached. So this is first creating the idea.
Like incarnations, divine manifestations,
Yeah, that is the point to get out of this Maya in the Vedantic way or the Bhakti way. That's a devotional way. Yeah.
I think you answered it. What I was going to ask is because I find it very interesting that it's so thorough in the investigation of the material world.
Yeah.
Why prop it up? Maybe just bring it down.
Hmm.
But if it's all illusory, and we want to see past the ignorance of it, why reify it in that way?
It is that. That's why our scriptures suggest a child has a fear of a ghost. And it entered into the child's mind such a way, he said, there is a ghost, and he took it seriously. And he will not go on that side anymore in life. The mother one day thought, I'll have to do something so that child is free from this ghost idea. There is no ghost at all. So he created a ghost. And see, oh, what is your fear? There is a ghost. Where is the ghost? Don't you see there is the ghost? Okay, I'll kill that ghost. Come. And his baby's child is not moving that direction. Then mom went and put a fire and burned that and said, see, the ghost is now dead. The ghost was not there. It is a created ghost. And that created ghost is out of mind. And when a mind goes beyond duality, there is no ghost. There is no world. There is nothing of the world of suffering and pain, only Brahman. So here is a question. Does ego brings in duality? Of course. When I say I, naturally I say you. I brings duality. Judges, categorizes, separates us from God. Judges, categorizes, separates us from God, truth, others, and the cause of our suffering. Does ego bring duality? Judges, categorizes, separates us from God, truth, others, and the cause of our suffering. Right. You mean that I. He means that ego brings all this duality, not only duality, judgment in our mind, categorizing in this world, separation from God and I, truth is separates from that, and others, and causes great suffering. True. So, yes, ego brings duality. Whenever my ego comes, see, child, baby, and mother, they are together. Identity. There is no separation with the baby and the mother. When the baby is born, there also, mother knows every bit of baby's condition. Because almost tuned to oneness. And when the ego of the child is growing, look at that. Then mom separates with the child. Even the birds, look at the bird is given a birth. And the mommy is feeding, bringing food, how much trouble without eating herself, picking up something, putting in the mouth of the baby, and then going and flying and bringing. But when it gets ego of the baby bird is developed, then it kicks out. Go, find your way. Here in this country, you are 18. No, go, find your own way. So long you are below that, it's mom's responsibility, dad's responsibility. But when you are adult, get out. The ego. So here is also. Ego, when it's not connected with God totally, that's the pure ego. And when it separates, I. And see, every boy says, I know, I understand. Why do mommy talk about that? I don't care about it. So you have become now responsible for yourself. You suffer. You enjoy. So that is the ego. And Ramakrishna said, Ami mole ghuchibe janjal. If this ego is abolished or died, then all the rubbish, all the sufferings of life will be eradicated. And egolessness is a state when one goes into samadhi. When our ego, we forget ourselves and only think of God, and God prevails everywhere. My ego is gone, then I will reach the highest state. Now, second question. The physical gross body and ego-centered mind is always changing. That's true. If you get attached to things that change, you invite suffering unto yourself. Of course, our eternal self is consciousness which observes. Very good, true. That is the only point. The physical gross body and my ego, my mind, is always changing, is it not? Look at ourselves when we are child till today. How our body has changed, our mind has changed, our emotions are changing every day, our understanding is changing. So these are all changing. And if we get attached to these changing things, to the body, to the mind, to the ego, then what will happen? Only suffering, only anxieties, only worries. And if you think I am deathless, birthless, you become free. The body is changing. What is that to me? You cannot stop the change of the body. You cannot stop the change of the mind. It will change because it is changeful object. But when you say, I am the unchanging, absolute, you are free. Nothing can bind, nothing can create any trouble for that person. Therefore, we should live in the body, but not attached to the body. Very high philosophy. How many people will understand that? Live in the body, take care of the body, but don't get attached to the body. Because this is a changing thing, you cannot hold it. Can you hold your youth? Hold on. Where is gone? Why it is gone? It will go because it's changing. As baby condition is gone. Can anyone hold on to the baby condition? Physical body, mental body, understanding, intellectual body. So, rather hang on to that which is unchanging, that is the self, upon which this drama of body-mind play is going on.
This person asks another question.
Okay.
Does the ego react rather than observe?
Real ego observes everything, but when identified ego always reacts. Identified ego, when I identify with this body, then I will react. Oh, I am in pain. Oh, I am happy. Oh, I get a good food. Ah, what a bad food. All this will come, identification with it. But someone, say, unmindfully eating the food, no? The same food he has eaten, but he has no sense whether it is sweet, whether it is little salty, or it is less salt, or it is spicy or less spicy. No concept.
But that ego is not observer either.
That is not observer either, but that is absent-mindedness. Absent-minded, same thing.
So can ego become observer?
Oh, can ego be? Ego is always observer, but the real ego is always observer.
No, small ego.
Huh?
Small ego.
Small ego. Small ego observes all little petty things under its control. Ego is the boss, no? Under its control is the mind, under its control is the senses, under its control is the five organs of actions. So naturally it observes those. But real observer is behind, which is unchanging. Kindly inform which Shanti Gita Swamiji is reading as a sloka in Bhagavad Gita do not correspond. Yeah, that probably you are right. I told it before, but I am not telling every day. This Shanti Gita, what I am reading, it is not available in Bhagavad, neither it is available in Mahabharata, neither it will find in anywhere else. It is I think probably an oral tradition. This happened when Arjuna lost his son Abhimanyu on the 13th day of the war, and son was killed unethically in the breaking all the rules and regulations of the war principles in those days. And such a bright, brilliant boy fought against the 7 great warriors, and ultimately they all entangled that boy and killed together. So when the message came to Arjuna, Arjuna was totally lost. Only one son, and such a bright son. And then he lost his energy to fight anymore. And that time he was depressed. And that time Bhagavan Krishna gave this advice, and listening to this advice of the 7 chapters, we are on the 6th chapter. After listening to that, he regained his own consciousness. Do your duty. Son, your enemy, your friend, all these are to play just on the duty of the responsibility of life. But you are Atman, that we are reading. That consciousness. The same teaching, more little Vedantic here in Shanti Gita. Sri Krishna gave that same teaching, which has been given. He will say, I have gave you at the beginning of the war. That is the Bhagavad Gita, known, so popular, with 700 verses. And this is called Shanti Gita, because Arjuna found peace. Even the son was dreadfully killed. And he overcome that depressed condition, depression. So that's why it is not found in anywhere. But we are trying to keep it. You can find in English. That's why we are giving the English verses, translation. You go to the chat, no?
The description section.
Description section you find, we are giving the verses we are reading. So you can read, because it is not available. We are trying to, my idea was to continue to do this, and then sometimes if God wants, it can be put into the book form. So that to give the original verses at least, and translation and little few words. So you have to follow this book and also these classes, then you will get it. And there is a book in Bengali, but if you cannot read Bengali, it's also not very available much. But online you can search it. But there is no English translation or transliteration. Okay, thank you all.
Transliteration is the
Oh, transliteration is there? No translation, yeah. Okay, online. But you can easily get the verses, transliterated version given here. Okay, thank you all. Any more? Okay, Jai Ma. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. So we shall meet you again tomorrow. Thanks for being online. And we'll meet you tomorrow again for Gospel at 7:30 p.m.